Good evening. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everyone had a great week. First week of the new year. Kind of let everything catch up here. And see if there we go. We're live. Sounds like the sound is all working. Hello, Mr. Brandon. Happy Friday. Hope you had a great week. Okay. I am going to kind of jump right into it. I was lucky enough to get my order. Hi, Miss Pam. I can officially say congratulations to you now, live on the screen. The new design team has been posted and for 2026, and Pam is a new member for us. So those of you have to check out, it's on the Brutus Monroe page and the Brutus Monroe fan club page and our Instagram if you want to see the new team. I am honored to still be leading the team as the leader. Hi, Miss Kate. But I was lucky enough to get my order that I placed at the earlier of this month. Hi, Karen. Thank you. I placed an order right away at the beginning of the month for some of the new release, and it came today. So we're going to play with it. I do not necessarily have something planned because it came at lunch and I haven't had a chance to play with it. But I did pull the Gentle Loves paper pad. Hi, Mama. And I pulled all the papers, the Heirloom Tomato, Toffee, Bubblegum Sky, and Cobalt. And while I'm speaking of that, I have a surprise for you. It isn't up yet. I will post in the fan club page. But I wanted to show you. I have to make a small change. Hi, Miss Penny. I created a little document with the Chromatic Reserve release, and I will have this uploaded hopefully to my blog, but I will post in the fan club page the download for this, and I have all of the cardstock colors for the new Chromatic Reserve. I did put white on a second page along with the neutrals, and then there's plenty of space to write things in. I included the BRU codes, and then I also created a separate sheet for the glitter stock, and I forgot cream, so I had to put that in at the last minute. But look at those beautiful glitter stocks. And then I did one for the chunky, and now I can add the new one. Now that we had those new ones, I'm probably going to put the mirror, that new. Hi, Sandy. Congratulations for staying with us this year. Thank you. Yes. I'll put the new rose gold down here at the bottom, but you can see all of them. And then I have one for I'll put the mirror stock probably on here. And here's the hollow stock. And I just got mine tonight. So once I have them finished, I will link it and let you guys know where you can get the free download for it. So you can use it if you want. Because I want to make sure I know. Hi, B. I want to make sure I tell you guys the right colors. And now I have this handy dandy thing I can put on my computer. So I pulled the cardstocks that go with this paper. It is not yet Pam because I need to make a change. Okay. I will get it fixed and then I will let you know. I will share it with the design team in our files, and then when I get ready to upload it, so that way you guys can get it too. But I will have it up. I just, like I said, I noticed a couple of mistakes, like I forgot the cream, and then we had those extras that I want to add. So, all right, I've got this coordinated pad. I'm excited to have you back, Sandy. And we're going to use this. I also grabbed out a couple of the stencils and the pattern maps. I'm thinking we're going to use these two, the pattern maps and the dual foils today. I don't think I'm going to foil, though. I did grab foil, but I don't think I'm going to foil. Hi, Jamie. I'm going to start with a very kind of simple card. But I mean, that isn't, I think I ordered, I better look and check. I might have only, the dual foil pack, you get one sheet of each. This is a pattern. It is not foilable. And you get 4 patterns. These are A2 card size. And then you get one that is A2 card size that you, and obviously you could cut these out with dies, things like that if you wanted to. And these, wherever it's black, are foilable. but I thought maybe I would, in case if somebody doesn't have a foil, hi Luann, you can make a beautiful card just like this, even without the overlays. I do have the new overlays. I did put those on my order. But I kind of want to just do a plain, hi Cordelia, and then we'll see where we go from there. And then I want to play with the new pattern maps. Okay. So we'll see where we go. Let's get started. First thing we're going to do, I pulled a couple of stamp sets from my stash. I don't really want to do much coloring or anything tonight. I thought if anything, we would just do some sentiments. I have a couple of things that were from last year's release that are like pre-cut and stuff here that we might use, but for the most part, I think I'm just going to use some sentiments. So I put that in half. I cut that in half at 5.5, and then I'm going to do 4 1/4. And that gives us 4 card panels. Now, like I said, these are foilable. And anywhere, like I said, it's black is foilable. So I think what I'm going to do is I want to use this one. And to be honest with you, I think I want to use this one, and I might foil these like this weekend and make some cards and make a couple of cards. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these down a little bit because I'm going to put some colored cardstock behind it. So I'm actually going to cut this down to 3.75, so 3 1/4. And then I'm going to cut the tops down to 5. So I'm cutting 1/4 inch off each side because I'm going to do that with both of these. So I'm going to go over 4 to 4 inches on this side and then flip it around and go to 3.75. Actually, thinking about it, I may change this one up a little bit. I'm actually thinking I'm going to do it even further. I'm going to go down 1 more 1/4 inch on this side. So that's 3.5. And then I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to go to 3.25. And then I've got this, and it's fairly centered when you look at the white space on both sides. Okay. Because I think what we'll do is we'll cut this down and do some more fun with that. Okay. So next, I'm going to grab a piece of, I'm going to check. I'm thinking about the Heirloom Tomato, which is becoming one of my favorite colors of the new Reserve. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it down in half. So whenever I take a full sheet of cardstock, I cut it in half and I put one piece away and I cut the other one into panels. And then I'm going to cut this down to 4 1/4. Actually, I'm going to cut it down to, 4 1/4. Okay. So here's our basis. But instead of that big rim of red, we're going to add a little bit of black back there just to make it pop a little bit more. Now you could do it both ways. You could put the red and then the black, but I'm going to do the black and then the red. So let us grab, I don't know, I'm almost out of licorice cardstock. I think it was out of stock. So let's see if I have any licorice cardstock. I might have some Raven left. I think I have Raven. I have some Raven left, so I'm just going to use that. But the licorice would work too. Any black cardstock. And I'm going to cut this down to 4. And 5 1/4. And then what we're going to do is take this and lay it on here. Take this and lay it on here. And you basically have a card. Now, like I said, you could foil this and then not do the black layer, but you could still also do the black layer with foil and stamp a sentiment. We're going to start with this, but I want to do the same thing with this one while I have my trimmer out, but I'm going to use the different color. We're going to use, actually, we're going to cut this down to 4 1/4. Because this is going to be my background. We're going to do it the opposite direction this time. So you're kind of taking this one card piece, and if you wanted to use all the same card panel or cardstock, you could get 2 for 1 out of this, which is great, right? When we're card making, to try to make 2 for 1. And then I will cut this down to 4 Actually, I think I have to cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4 because I need it a little smaller than the card, A2 card. So then we have this one to go backwards. And then we have that nice big panel. Now I haven't decided if I like this yet. I may change my mind because of all this whiteness. I'm thinking I might trim it down to just a hair. And then put it on some pattern paper. But we'll see. Let's see where we're getting with it. Okay, let's start with the first one and see where it looks. This is my card process. This is what I like to do. I try not to overthink it. I start with something, and as I'm doing it, if I don't like it, I move on. So, all right, I have to stand up for this, so you have to excuse me a second. Black is hard to see on my black mat here, my black mat, glass mat. So it's a lot easier for me to semi-eyeball it if I stand up. So I have to tell you guys a funny kind of story today. So I had, my honey made me some popcorn before we watched before I went live tonight while I was prepping, getting all my cardstocks open and stuff, and the dog was up here with me. And I threw him a piece of popcorn, and he literally was laying like this, and he went like this with his 2 feet and then licked it. And then I threw one over here, and he was like, and stuck his tongue out. And then I threw one way up here, and he just looked at me like, "You're going to make me get up, Mom." I was like, "Come on, dog." So I'm going to grab, I have quite a few stamp sets pulled. That doesn't mean we're going to use them all. But I wanted to show you, Funny Valentine was in stock. Obviously, Dynamic Duos, I used those last week. If you did was the Spring Fling, you have this stamp set. I also pulled this Fall Florals, which is one from last year, not last year, the year before, and it has some great, it has You're a True Friend, which is fabulous if you want to make some cards using Valentine's for your friends. And so I wanted you to show that one. And then I grabbed the Inspirational Wreath, which is a little bit older. And there's a couple Sending Sunshine, Hello Friend. Hello, Tamara. And then, of course, I grabbed Super Sentimental, Extra Sentimental, and I grabbed Thanks for Being There, because you have Thank You for Being My, or You Are Literally My Favorite, and then The Friend Die. So I wanted you guys to think, oh yeah, he has me trained. Think about your stash. If you're like, well, I already made a Valentine's Day card and I don't need another Valentine's Day card, you can use something else. If you're sending it to a kid, one of your kids, a friend, your parents, family member, you can do the love you still, and it will still work. So I want to just kind of keep this pretty simple. What I think I'm going to do is we're going to grab a little bit of this. I should have probably done this beforehand, but we're going to grab a little bit, my favorite, Ornament Gold, and I'm going to kind of attempt to show you how I make this. So what I do is I spritz it in the air. This is going to make a mess, you guys. So let me grab my box so I can kind of show you. Just to protect my work surface, what I do is I spritz it in the air like this, and then I run my paper through it just like that, really fast. And that sometimes gives you no bumps. I mean, I tend to do it kind of off to the side. I mean, if you see my small camera off here like this, where I have more space, or I will spritz it to the side and let it fall on my face. And then you won't be able to probably see it, but in person, it's got the faintest little shimmer to it. It's probably very hard for you guys to see. You can kind of see it on the black. But that is one way to use this without having any, I got a couple dots, of course, there, but to getting a lot. So it's going to be kind of hard to see, I think, in person. In person, it's shimmery. But that is one of my favorite ways to use this, is to just spritz it through the air. And then if you do get a big dot like that, you can just kind of dab it with your, this thing is so shimmery, you guys, in person. It's funny. I can see when I go like this back and forth on my screen, I can see the handprint from my mouse, which is in the middle of my screen. It lights up because the shimmer is it. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp a sentiment, and I'm going to use that sending love from the Celebrate or Shaped Flowers. There is an SVG that works for these sentiments, but I'm going to stamp it directly on my card base because we do not always need to have a die cut out. I think sometimes it's fun to have this little, I'll pull that out of there. Doot, doot. There we go. So, as I said at the very beginning, not everyone was in here yet. The design team has been posted in the fan club page and on our other social medias, our website, or not our website, our Facebook page and our Instagram. So if you wanted to go and find some of our design team members and follow them, our inspiration team members, you can do that. I will try this weekend in the fan club group to make a post and share some of their socials with them. So like a post with all of them. So you can go find them on Instagram if you want to follow them. Some of them do have YouTube channels and blogs. So we added, we kept some members and we added some members, or we had some returning members. So there we go. Sending love. Now, for a little bit extra, let's add a little crystals or some sequins or whatever. I'm going to go ahead and grab my red shift crystals that I still have here because thank you for posting that, Penny. That's perfect. I'm super excited to have us get started with everything and all the great inspiration that we're going to have this year. I mean, it's always fun to learn from all of the inspiration team. 1, 2 there, 1, 2 there, and I think I'll put 1 up here. That looks good to me. All right. And then, like I said, I like to use my lid for these because I can shake it and it will turn them upside down so that I can grab them. And we have a very, very simple card. Now, I did want to talk about on the event page, there's the countdown to Valentine's Day box. I wanted to, I will be getting mine fairly soon because I am going to do videos in advance. So they will be on my Facebook page. And if you are a person who is, I want to open it each day, do not watch the video until that day. Like, don't peek if you want, but I will be posting them ahead of time. So they won't be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up to Valentine's Day. That way, you know, you can see what's in the box and see if it's if it's something you want while it's still in stock. I just wanted to tell you that. I'm going to trim this just a hair because it was kind of off a little bit there. And there is our first card. And it just is sending love. I mean, so it's perfect for anything. You can send this to almost anyone. Now, yes, obviously this is a card panel, not a base. I don't always put them on bases because I send a lot of my samples into the store and they just post them on the wall. So I don't always put them on a card base so that we can conserve paper when it is needed. Now, I really think I am going to cut this down. I think I want just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and measure this one more time just to make sure because we already cut this. And I am going to cut, so let's see, what was this one? Was 3 1/4. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trim this to 5 1/4 because, oh, thank you, Jamie. It's very pretty. I want to make like 1 million of them now. So that way we have just that hint. And so I'm going to go down just a little bit more, just a little bit more on each side, because that way we have that little bit of pink. But what I want is I want this to be kind of down the center of my card. So here, now that I've got this, I can trim that down. But instead of, well, let's see if we can measure this. Okay, so it's 3 1/4 by, oh, not quite 5. So let's go down to 5. Let's get it down to 5. Because then it'll be easier for measurements and it will look better to your eye. Okay, so that's 5. This one is 3 1/4 by 5. This one needs to be 3 1/2, right? Yep. By 5 1/4. Because then, and which it already is. So I'm going 1/2 quarter inch up. And then this one is perfect the length. It's going to be the 5 1/2, but we need to go to 3 1/4. So we're going to end up with a white border at the top and the bottom of this card. Measure once, cut twice, right? I always save these little pieces like this because they make perfect sentiment strips. I just stick them back in the envelope. And then, so we're just going to do it like this. And then it's just going to go down the center of our card panel, which in this case is just going to be a piece of white. Now you could do it like this. I think that's pretty clean and simple, and I think that's what I want. But we could take this and very simply, look at how fun that is. Right on that dual. You know, you could do that with, and get that pattern underneath it. Let me cut one of these apart so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm not sure I want to waste all this beautifulness until I get a second one so I can make sure I can make samples for you guys. But we'll. So it just go ahead and cut it down to A2 card size. Let's cut this one too because I want that lighter pink one. And you could totally, like I said, see how that could work just like that. But I am going to go ahead and put it on the white because I'm going to go with the clean and simple tonight. Okay. I mean, it makes a big difference. Is this even the right? This is too small. This isn't even a card. These are somewhat short. So let's cut us ourselves a regular card panel. Grab a piece. Ooh, I'm almost out of Not Your Mama's. Look at that. My Not Your Mama's. Gonna need to cut down some more Not Your Mama's. Alabaster would be fine too. I'm going to use Not Your Mama's. Those other pieces were just shy of a quarter. Hi, Susan. Happy Friday night. That is some housekeeping, actually, I need to make. You guys, we're going to make a small change to the live schedule. I hope you're all okay with this. Because it's going to, I was going to wait, but I'm going to actually just pull the trigger and do it next week. Starting next week, I'm going to go live a little later. I'm going to go live at 9 Eastern. Hi, Tia. How are you? And which is 8 Eastern. So, and I'm going to push it back an hour. That is going to give me a little extra time because so for me to get off work and eat some dinner. So it's not super late. So either I'm not rushing to eat dinner or I'm not waiting till late to eat dinner. So I will announce it. I will remind you guys all that. Put it in like my, description, new time, but I am going to move it back to 9 o'clock Eastern. And I think it'll be a lot easier for me. I will have more time to not be rushed when I get home from work. Now, I don't live too far from work, but there are times when I am getting home and I'm just kind of going quick and then I'm running upstairs. Or I run upstairs and get everything ready. And then I run downstairs and kind of inhale my food. So I hope that's okay with everybody. Everyone else right now is staying the same. I just would like to move back an hour. And I did talk to Christopher about it this week, and they said that was fine. So I'm just going to center this up on the center of my card. Oh, that's okay, Jay. Thank you, Sandy. I think that'll work. I mean, Fridays are good, crafters if they're home. I know Craft Roulette is on at 6:30 too, and I know a lot of people want to watch that. I mean, I might still overlap a little bit with it, but it will make much more close time. So Jay, what did you miss? This was my first card, and it's kind of hard to see, but I added a lot. So you can see it down here. Look down here. See that golden shimmer? So this was card number 1. And here's card number 2. Thank you. This is the new, what's it called? Sweethearts Dual Foil Sheets. So you get 4 panels that are foilable and 4 plaid panels that are not foilable that you can add. I'm just showing how to not do them, not foil them this time. And I think this time I'm going to grab a sentiment. Sorry, my sentiments. I want to grab, let's see, what do we got here? Looking for a, I'm going to grab this little, this is, I always get these two mixed up. This one is super sentimental. I'm going to grab this little love right here. Yes, I like it. I like it just like that. And thank you. And I'm just going to stamp this little love right here down in the corner. Thank you. I thought it was just nice and pretty and close. And what I wanted to kind of show is that you guys just taking some of these, you can sit down and I could make all 4 of these cards with these dual foils in just minutes. I mean, we're only at 7:26 and I'm at the second, I'm on, and I talked at the beginning a little bit. And I'm almost done with the second card. Now, like I said, it's not on a card base. This piece could be your card base instead of a panel. They are the Sending Love. Miss Your Face is my favorite, Pam. It's the very first stamp I ever stamped in Brutus Monroe, and it's my favorite. We may have to make a card. We'll make a card with that one today. We'll send that one to my daughter because I miss her face. So there we go. And then you could very, very lightly, you could grab some watercolor. My watercolors are, but you could color in your little heart and add that in a little bit more watercolor or just a little, let's see, do I have my Olos here? Let's see if I got something that's very close. I'm just going to grab this piece that I used. That's close enough. We're just going to grab it. This is our 5.3. And I'm just going to dab it in and just add that little bit right like that. And of course we need some crystals, but we don't want red ones this time. Let's grab my pink ones. Like I said, you could do stickles, you could do liquid pearls, you could do pops of color, you could do sequins. I'm just going to use up some of my crystals, and I think we're going to put in a couple here, and we'll put one here, and we'll put a couple here. It is a very good. Oh, I would suggest if Pam put it on your wish list to place an order for it because it's a very well loved stamp in my opinion, and it's very easy to. They're so versatile. You're right. You can grab them if you need any sentiment, and they're evergreen, so they're around. You know. So there we go. We got card number 2. All righty, let's go on to. You guys know what my obsession is. Right now, I cannot wait to chop these apart this weekend and just keep playing with these pattern maps. So the pattern maps, if you have not seen them, they look a lot like our washi maps. However, you don't have to put the colors on them. I used a couple last week. Where's my... I want to throw my pieces in here so I don't ruin them. Because you know what? That's what I tend to do. I don't know where to put the plaid ones. I'll just move those out of the way. Here, oh, I got to show you guys something. These aren't finished. Okay, remember last week we were playing with them and I used that one? Okay, so we'll do this. I can't show you live because it's over there, but I can show you the result. I used some of those sparkle overlay strips. These on one of our pattern maps, remember right here? And I ran it through a 3D embossing folder. Are you ready? This is a Simon Says stamp embossing powder folder. But look at, this is where that is. Isn't that fabulous? So you've got your mat, and with your overlay foil, look at how fabulous that is. Now, obviously, I haven't finished a card with it yet because I ran out of time, but I could throw a very simple image on here. You know, we could do it any which way we want, and a little sentiment, and it would be a card. Yes, isn't that beautiful? So this is those overlay strips. You can also get the overlay pieces that are the full sheet, and it would foil, I would believe, as well. But I wanted to attempt it. I just wanted to show you. You can see down here where the overlay stops. So this is sitting on my desk. But that is one of the pattern maps that I used last weekend. So other than the fact that my, oh, what is the texture? The texture is in a 3D embossing folder from Simon Says Stamp. I just grabbed one. I think it might even been a retired one that I just bought off a D-stash. I just grabbed a one that didn't really have like a geometric pattern, Pam. I figured, I mean, you could probably do it with like a flower or something, but I thought having it with just a geometric made it kind of pop a little bit more and not take away from the beautifulness of the shine. Yes. I mean, you couldn't run these through just like this and through an 3D embossing folder and give it that extra texture. But I thought maybe, do we want to play with the new overlay foils? Should we? Let's grab this one. Here is the glowing hearts. So can you see that on there? I mean, I know lights kind of get crazy with this. So let's cut this apart. But instead of using a whole sheet, I'm going to go ahead and I do not have these in strips. I don't think they are available in strips right now. I'm sure they're coming, but they're not yet. I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to cut this in half at 4 1/4, because then I could layer this over the entire panel if I want. But thank you. Okay, I will. But I think what I'm going to do is we're going to take this and let's take one of these. I'm going to take this one that has the stripes across, and I'm going to cut it. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut them down into 1/2-inch strips. So I'm at 5 1/2. So I'm going to move it over to 5. And I'm going this way because I want to preserve the pattern. Awesome. Okay. So 5. And then we'll go to 4 1/2. And then we'll go to 4. Because I need how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 3. And then we'll go over to 3 1/2. And then we'll go to 3. Ooh, that looks like it's too much. Shoot. 3 1/2. There we go. I was over too far. Okay. So I cut these down into strips because you could obviously do that with your bigger sheets. Thank you, Penny. I did put some links down below with a few of the items that I knew I for sure was going to use earlier today. And those links in the description box are affiliate links. I did want to say that. I apologize. I needed to put that little disclaimer in. So I don't know. You can't. I mean, I'm going to kind of hold my hand over it. You can kind of catch it in the light, that little bit of a pattern. I know I got it for just a second there. But I'm going to go ahead and just put it down. And I'm going to go ahead. And what I like to do is do it right down the center. And then I'm just going to slowly peel it back. And then I'm not going to save this little tiny piece. I'm just going to fold it over. And I didn't get that on straight. But look at that heart pattern on there. So now you've just dressed this up. Okay, pretend I put it on straight. That's a happy accident. That's a happy. So the only thing I would make sure you did, because this is a pattern that goes in a direction, you want to make sure that you are cutting it in the right direction, of course, because the hearts would go different. I mean, if you had the hearts going this way, that was fine. You just have to change your card design around. But I want the hearts to go across this way. I'm kind of leaning towards loving this design or this layout the way it goes. And like I said, I'm not saving that little piece. You could totally, that one's better. But I want my card layout to look like this. I mean, you could do it so that you could have your cards like this, or you could do it like this, or even like this. But I've been kind of loving it this way. Okay, so then when I go to look, I'm just going to make sure I grab the right side. This is the side I need to pull. And of course, it's being difficult because they're on a release sheet. Okay, there we go. I was trying to pull the release sheet back up. Is it? And I'm just gonna. Now I will say I don't know if you can see, but you don't want to touch them too much because you can get fingerprints on these because they are clear. Oh, I did the wrong side. So let's pull it back. I almost got the upside down heart. And I'm gonna go ahead and just put this on. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just eyeballing it to try to center it as much as I can. And then fold it over. I mean, you could do just a sentiment. I mean, look at a sentiment strip. Stamp a sentiment and then put this over the top. Oh, how beautiful would that be? Everyone would be like, how did you make that so shiny? So, and you don't need any heat for this. I mean, I love to heat foil too, but there are times when I just don't want to get my laminator out, or I'm not able to get my laminator out because maybe I'm at a crop and there's no cluster of hearts overlay. Okay, is that the one I'm using? This one's glowing hearts. So cluster of hearts, which is this one. So I will see if you can them next to each other. They're hard. This one has like a lot, mostly lines with lots of like sparklies. This one is all hearts. Okay. Oh yeah, cat fur definitely provides an interesting texture. Dog hair too. Hey, that's part of the fun, right? You know, I mean, there was, I don't know if it's probably not still up on the wall, but a few years ago, the first year I came to Create Your Own Ending, and I was looking at, oh, did I stick that down all the way? Okay, so if you didn't stick it down all the way, you can kind of straighten it. I was looking at the projects on the wall, and I had to laugh because when I first got Fletch, I was vacuuming one day because I don't know if he got something, he spilled something, and I came over and he came up on my desk and grabbed this flower bouquet. It is a plan, Kate. I had all these little flowers in a little bucket sitting all taped together, arranged to go on my card. And he had grabbed it and I got it away from him. And of course, then I turned around, he had grabbed the top to my ink cartridge because I left my ink open and he had chewed it. Well, I was able to salvage it and put it on my card and you could barely tell. And it was on the wall. And I'm like, Fletch ate that one. I thought that was kind of funny. So there we go. I mean, I did not get these perfectly straight, but it works for me. I mean, look at that fun. Look at how beautiful that is. I mean, it makes it look like that pattern is directly on your card. Now you could totally, like I said, go through and cut this, run this through with a 3D embossing folder, and it would be beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and chop this down to 4. I'm actually going to chop it down a little bit on this side and just a hair on this side because I want to keep a little bit of that white space. And then I'll chop a little bit off the top. And I might just leave that little bit on the bottom. It looks wonky. Looks like I did not cut that straight. Let's see what's going on here. That looks better. Yeah. Okay. I love the hearts too. I think they're really fun. Now I want to stay with a soft pastel color. So I'm just going to go ahead and use that other piece, that piece of, and actually I'm going to use this piece that has the all cut out. Nobody's going to know that that's there, right? Except you guys, because you're watching me live. But if I was going to put this on a card base, you would never know that was there. So let's go ahead and put this down. I punched that out for my paper. So this is bubble gum. And I mean, I don't know if you could see that, but that's what it looks like when it's on white too. You can kind of see it. It's pretty. Yes, I actually, Cordelia, have a cutting board over the top of my garbage can. Because, well, I mean, fortunately for me, he's a dog, so he doesn't climb on my desk. You know, like I know cats climb on things like that. But he will go in and take a piece out of my garbage can. So I have this cutting board. This was my sister had this, and she let me, her husband made it for painting, and she gave it to me, and I use it for that. And I keep that right over my desk all the time. Okay. I'm struggling tonight, guys. Look at that. That's off a little bit. That's okay. We're just going to leave it the way it is. Nobody has to know. We need a sentiment and a thing. So I think I'm going to go ahead and, what do I got here? I have this. This is from the My Funny Valentine. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put this on here. And I'm going to kind of cover it up here because that one's not off, is a little bit at an angle. And then I'll get a sentiment. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this up. I had some foam tape here that was the pieces that were up. Homemade perfection. I'm going to use up my leftover pieces here. And those of you who have subscribed to or signed up for the free mustache app for the free account, or if you're paying a paid subscription holder, I have most of this release put in. I have a couple of things I have to finish. Thank you. It is cute. This guy's super cute. And he was already pre-colored, so I colored him with Olos. That's all I can tell you, because he was pre-colored in my box. I was like, I try to get some things colored ahead of time. I'm really a big fan. I love dyes. Don't get me wrong. Dyes are great. But having SVGs has made me have images available. I mean, look at I have a whole pile of images stamped and cut out and ready to color. So when I go to sit down and color, I can color them right away. And they're already cut out, so I already know they're not going to, they're not going to accidentally, dye's not going to move on me and ruin all my hard work. Okay, so let's grab this guy. And grabbing all the paper off. Sorry, all the release paper. That's the only thing I don't like about it. Only black. That's crazy. Why just the black? Well, it's funny. He's been pretty good for the first couple of months that we lived here, because my room wasn't all put together. I mean, I had different furniture. I mean, some of you know I've redone my craft room since then, and gotten official shelves. I wasn't sure how he would react. And, you know, I mean, we had boxes sitting out and things like that for moving. And he had a perchance to grab our pillows all the time, and he would drag them around the house and chew on them and make us chase him. So I blocked off the upstairs for quite a while. And then he kind of just stopped. I'm going to go ahead and use the Sending Love, I think, again. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp it on some of this pink cardstock. This is some bubble gum here. This is not bubble gum. That's ballet. Let's grab a piece of bubble gum. Tie a little bit more of that pink in. He's pretty good about it, but I don't know if some of you guys remember, he stole Pooh. Do you guys remember with Pooh? Look, he somehow decided, I don't know if it fell on the floor. I had just gotten my stamp of the month, my Pooh with a balloon. And I came home at lunch and I found him on the floor, and he was kind of happy with himself because he's like, look what I found, look what I have. Fun. Oh, thank you, Rachel. I appreciate it. I love to share my crafting. It is. I like having my own ephemera on. I need to make more of it and have it colored, Sandy. I mean, I literally really need to do that. I haven't had a lot done. I have a lot of them die cut out and stuff, but I haven't colored them yet, but I need to. Okay. So there is the SVGs for this. You know, Cordelia, I do like having my scan and cut. I prefer my little Cricut Extra Joy when I'm doing SVGs, and I prefer to do them ahead of time. I love my scan and cut. Look at that. There's fletch hair all over this. Little black fletch hairs. But I find that if I have these ready to go, like, oh, you can't see that, that I have more ready to go and more to do. So I actually have my SVGs downloaded for this release. And what I need to do is get them and cut out everything and have it all ready to go so that when my stamps arrive, I can just go to town stamping them all out. I'll spend a whole hour just stamping them out, and then they're ready to go. And then I can color some or not. I mean, I have so many done from all the past releases and they need to be colored. Hi, Carol. No worries about being late. You are all good. We're doing pretty good. We're at 15 and we're on card number 3. Okay. So this one, I think I'm going to leave the bling off this time and just let that shine. Now we're going to go kind of completely different off course with these, and we'll use a little bit more of this beautiful overlay. And let's grab this paper pack. So this is the Gentle Love paper pack. I am in love with it. And it has the fun colors for our new colors. I haven't even looked through the whole thing yet. So if you guys don't know, and what I do is I grab my cardstock and I go like this. And then I put them all together in order. I'm not going to do that right now during live, but I'm going to just kind of show you all the patterns. Those are all the patterns for this one. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this one. I'm in love with this pattern paper set. I really just want to sit down and make a bunch of cards. Like grab Call Me Crafty Al's sheetload cards or Kendra's card challenge pattern and just. Oh, speaking of that, I know Sean is doing that. I wanted to shout out to Sean. You need to go over to Sean on our team's channel, Manly Made Minute, and he created a video on Monday showing a hack that I talked to him about, and very, very nicely, very sweetly told everyone that I had taught him that. But head over to Manly Made Minute and check out his hack for using large stamps with your Misty. Karen, right now we don't have dies for our stamps. We did not. We did get away from some dies last year. It's a complicated explanation, really, more than you think it is. We are working to get some dies back in stock. I don't necessarily think so in general, like for the crafting world, because everyone loves their dies, and like I do, I love my dies too. But I will tell you that I can get more done with a scan and cut and stamps than I can with dies in a heartbeat. Because when I have to cut this out, I can only cut it out one at a time. When I use my scan and cut or my, what was Walter? I want to look for that. Zemrox by Walter? Is that? Penny, can you link Walter or Sean's channel and Walter's and Sean's channel for me, please? But I think you'll still see stamp dies on the market. And like I said, we're working on it, but it may be a little bit. Okay. There's, I mean, manufacturing in general is, if you've never been in manufacturing, can be, you know, there's different things that all go into the mix and things like that. Thank you. There's Sean's YouTube channel, and then the Men of Monroe on Thursday nights, if that's what you're looking for. Zemtones. Oh, yes, Zemtones. I'm horrible with the names. I can click on them, but I don't remember them without looking them up. So this is that same overlay foil, and we're just going to go ahead, and I just peel it back a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my best. Now you could do the whole sheet and cut it down if you want. I'm not going to worry about if I get it off a little bit. I'm going to just lay down the top and do a little bit at a time, and hopefully I get it on straight. If I don't, I will just cut it. It's just paper. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. If that's what you were looking for, Tamara. Now look at how shiny that is. And that's kind of an optical illusion because you've got those hearts. And then you've got the hearts from the foil. So how fun is that? All right, let's make a couple cards with this one. I'm going to go ahead. It's at 4 1/4. I'm going to chop this down to 2.75, I think. Sounds like a good number to me. So I've got 2 cards right here. I am going to grab another one of our panels here. Let's grab this one. I think this one's fun because it's kind of a tone on tone. You're welcome. You're welcome. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut down 3 inches by 4. This is just one of Zem's tone. Yeah, but it's all one word, I think, Sandy, isn't it? Yeah, Zem's tone. ZEMSTONES. And then I'm going to cut this one down to 4 inches. I'm just, no measurements here, just grabbing what I want. Let's grab a card base just to start. I'm going to just fold this. This is my, I want to grab card base, but look at, we can put this down. And I'm going to put this behind it. So there's kind of one idea. I mean, that's actually covering up quite a bit. So maybe I'll grab this littler one. We might cut this one down. I'm going to cut this one in half is what I'm going to do, and then use it. Are these the same size? Pretty close. Yep. I'm going to cut this one down just a hair. So it's at 3. I'm going to cut it down to 2 because I don't want to waste all that beautiful paper. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use this card base as a sample. We're going to put this one down like this, and you can kind of just put it down. Put my magnet on top. And then we have this piece. And we have this bigger chunk over here, and I can kind of do this kind of a thing. And then I think I'm going to put some pattern paper. See how quick and fast you can make a couple of cards just like this? I mean, we could also go ahead and put a piece like this, and I could use this little piece like this. You know, you could use small pieces. It's like I wanted to show you here. We'll do it like this. Sorry, I'm just wanted to quick. So we're just going to make a couple of quick cards, kind of, you know, like this. But I want to throw on some more of these colors. So let's grab that cobalt. It's so beautiful. I just got this in the mail today. Look at how pretty this cobalt is. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this down to 5 1/2 by 4 1/4 for one. And for this one, I think I'm going to cut it down to 4 by 5 1/2, 5 1/4. So I have one for each. Okay. Like I said, this was just our card panel, so I could show you about the measurements we have. So we have this beautiful piece. I mean, you could totally just do this and throw a little thing on here, and you have a beautiful card just like that. But I think it's, I don't want to do that. I'm thinking maybe I will do something like this. And then I have this beautiful, this isn't going to match, but you have something like that. And then for this one, I want to do the full length of the card. And then I want to grab this and just kind of stick it in underneath. Maybe we'll do this one like this. Like that. Okay, so those are my cards for tonight. And then we'll go ahead and put some sentiments and stuff on it. So let's get these glued down. Now, if your brain doesn't think like that, grab a sketch. There are tons of sketches out there. You can go to, Pinterest and Skype sketches. Like I said, shitload of cards. She has sketches. Call Me Crafty Al. You can go to Kendra, Cards by Kendra, and there are sketches everywhere. OWH, Operation Right Home. They don't do new sketches anymore, but there are tons of sketches on their website as well. I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. I don't want to stick it down yet because I'm going to stick this piece right in here. Here we go. So I'm going to grab this. And I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use... No, you do not have to have a Cricut. You can use a silhouette and a scan and cut. I just know a Cricut is, I have my scan and cut, but I prefer, for simple ease, I prefer the Cricut Joy because for me, it's super simple. I actually have it's under the SVGs. There's a playlist and I show how I do it. I don't know the silhouette program at all, so I cannot attest to that one. And I do not, and I don't have, I'm just going to use this like this, you guys, and cut it because we're going to bake it. And I haven't done it with a scan and cut in a long time because I'm not as familiar with the program, the actual program for scan and cuts. I just know how to do the, speeding it through my scan and cut. Now, for those, we're just kind of faking this. We're going to cover up that little piece so it looks like it's one continuous piece, just like that. If you don't have a die cutting machine, my best explanation to explain how I mean that is there are iPhones and there are Androids out there for phones, right? I mean, I know there's other companies now, but there's different. An iPhone is a different type of program than an Android. And you can customize an Android a lot more, but an iPhone for someone who's just learning is fairly simple for you to do. There's not much you have to do. You can just use it. You don't have to, do a lot. There's not as much customization on an iPhone. And that's kind of what I think of when I think of a Cricut Joy or a Joy Extra, is that you can just go ahead and open the program, upload your SVG file, and then click Make. And I have an old Cricut, and where I had to do a lot more of the work. And then I have the new Cricut Joy. I bought it on a sale, and on ProvoCraft's website, and I bought it directly from them. And I have never looked back, Karen. I mean, to be honest with you, I held out for a long time. Okay, so there you go. I just cheated a little bit, made sure those were the same length, but now we have 2 cards using that, another 2 for 1. I mean, and we can go ahead and, like I said, you've got 2 or 3 different things here. We want to kind of get these finished up. This is from My Funny Valentines. This was the chipboard companions. I don't know if these are still available, but I already have it done. I just stamped it with black ink, embossing ink, and then I actually I heat embossed some embossing powder over it. And then I colored it in with, I don't know if I must have used Olo markers or alcohol markers. So, but I want to use this guy on my card, and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to put that on here like this. And I might leave this one blank. I might not put anything on here for right now. This one, we're going to get something on here. I pulled one other thing from my stash, and it is in stock. It's called Snail Mail. It's this little die set. It came out with our Letters from Heaven stamp. And it makes these 2 cute little envelopes. And what I thought would be fun is to choose another one of these colors. And I'm going to use white. And then I'm going to use the red, which is the heirloom tomato. Actually, no, let's use the heirloom tomato first. So I'm just going to kind of put those apart. And we're going to die cut this out. We're going to go over a little bit. Hope you're okay with that, guys. I got off on thinking about die cut machines. The other, I guess there's a couple of other positive things that I can say about using an SVG file versus a die that I've really thought about is an SVG file relatively costs you between $1 to $3. And I can use it over and over and over again. And like I said, I can just cut this one image out as many times it fits on my piece of paper. Or when I have a die, I can only cut out one at a time. A die also costs a lot more money. So if I'm getting an SVG file, because it's so inexpensive and it's a great price point, I'm just going to fold them back on those score lines that you can see. So you can make this as an envelope, which is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to necessarily, just got to be really careful with this because there is a spot where you can fold in a letter, but I'm not going to put a letter in. I'm going to fold it all together. And I'm just going to have this little envelope here. You can buy more stamps, is what I was explaining. Instead of, I'm just going to put some glue down on this and fold it all together. Like I said, there's a spot there if you wanted to put a little piece of paper inside. I'm going to go ahead and fold. Oh, I folded mine wrong, but it will work. If you fold yours wrong, you can just snip it off a little bit. Just like that. I folded my corners down wrong. And then I'm going to fold my little envelope down just like that. And I'm going to seal it. So that I think is, and space, that's the other positive that's nice about having, I'm going to pop this up too, having SVG files is that it doesn't take up as much space in my craft room because they're all on my computer or an external hard drive if you want it that way, and or the cloud or however you store your digital media. So I've got this fun little envelope just like this. And then I think this is a good spot to, you could put a little tiny heart. I'm going to go ahead. I don't think I have any hearts. Do I have any hearts? You could put a little heart right here. I might do that after because I'm going to have to get that out of my die cut machine, but I can't find it right now. I mean, you could also flip it the other way. I just use it as an envelope. I want to use, where was that? Pam said that. Sending love, right? From the extra sentimental, wasn't that where it was? Yep, sent with love, this one. Sent with love. So I'm going to stamp that right here. And I'm going to stamp it in some of the pink ink, I think. We're going to add a little bit more of that pink color on here. Oh, thanks. Like I said, snail mail is a stamp. It is a die. It is available. I wanted to check before I used it tonight. It's one of those underused dies. We haven't used it a lot. As you guys see, oh, there's my Misty. I'm like, where'd my Misty go? So if you are, and it's a great price point for everything too. All right, let's quick stamp this out. I am going to stamp it in black. And we will get this last card finished. I don't think I adhered these guys down yet. I will tell you with the overlay, You do want to use a strong adhesive. I don't think you can use just tape runner or liquid glue. It might work with liquid glue. You just have to let it dry really well. I have found that I use a glue dot or double-sided adhesive or foam tape to help it adhere to the shiny feature of the, and I'm going to tuck that right underneath, just like right here. Scent with Love. I'm going to glue that down. Because there's a little bit of a I don't know, it's like a coating on it. I guess coating would be the best word to say that you would want to use that. So I'm going to say Scent with Love at an angle. I overlap that a little bit, so we're going to cut that off. I'm going to go ahead and grab a red pen here and color in my 2 hearts to tie the colors together. And then I'm going to actually try to find a heart die in my stash after we are done here, because I don't know where they are, my little ones, and put a little heart right there. And that will be card number 2. I mean, you could totally have put some extra patterns in the background of this. Let's get this guy down. So now I'm going to use this double-sided adhesive here to attach this chipboard. I just like to use some sort of tear tape. Since it's extra strong, I don't have to do a ton. Put a little bit on their feet. I love this little lightweight stuff that I have. It's old. I've had it for a long time, and I'm finally using it up because it doesn't take much. And I've also find with double-sided adhesive, if you go over the edge, just foil it back a little bit with your finger. Okay. Go ahead and peel off all the release paper, throwing it all over my desk. One of these days, you guys, I'm going to take a picture of my desk after a live, and you guys will have to see the mess that it really is. I mean, I have boxes on the floor and stamp sets everywhere for after a live. I'm going to go ahead and put this straight on. And there we go, you guys. I'm going to call that good to go, because I can put my sentiment on the inside or find some other fun little thing if I wanted to put that, but we're gonna call that one a good night. Hope that you enjoyed some of these. And now that I have some things here in my house, in-house, I will have a little bit better planning for next week too. But we made 5 cards tonight, you guys, in 8 minutes, an hour and 7 minutes. So I hope you enjoyed this. Check out the new design team, wish them well, and I will get that printable for you guys this weekend. I will get it taken care of, and I will post in the fan club group when it's ready. So, okay, I want to thank you all for coming. I'm going to kind of say goodbye. Appreciate you thumbs upping, liking. You can go to my channel, which is Sugar Cards by Candi, if you want to see more from me, especially the Valentine's boxes. And I will see you guys all next week at my new time. Have a good night. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. I appreciate it. Thanks, Brendan, Kate, Karen, for all them.